All right, Adam. We're going into the next. We're going to flop from DC and we're going to hit over to Marvel side, but not
right.
Marvel Cinematic Universe. We're going to hit to the Fox version of the Marvel universe, into their properties. Apparently, they are officially working on a Silver Surfer movie, a standalone, which I'm going to say I have always wanted a Silver Surfer standalone film. I understand that
Weren't we just talking about one?
a standalone Silver Surfer?
A couple shows ago, didn't we talk about how it would be really difficult because it would mostly take place in space?
You know what? I think you're right. I think we did say that it would be kind of difficult, but they did it with like Guardians of the Galaxy. Yeah, I think you're right. I think we did talk about it, and I think I said the same thing. I really want a Silver Surfer movie.
Yeah.
I changed my shirt specifically. Put on my Silver Surfer shirt. I've had this probably since I was in high school. This is an old ass shirt. Just shows that I haven't aged since I was 18 because I fit in all my old clothes still.
Yeah.
So what they're apparently doing is that apparently Marvel movies are still going to be made by Fox because the deal with Marvel Disney and Fox, that's all probably going to be handled within the next year or so, just if the government allows the deal to go through. So what were you going to say?
Because of monopoly laws?
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be the only reason that the deal wouldn't happen. But even if the company did sell to somebody else, it still goes back to Marvel.
This is one of the few cases where you hear me defend Marvel's right to consolidate Marvel characters. Like you'll never hear me defend another monopoly ever in any case.
Well, the thing is
but like if it's a fucking Marvel character, it should be at least in the creative control of Marvel.
To be 100% fair, though, well, not to be fair, but to not go off too far off onto like a tangent, it wouldn't matter if the deal doesn't go through and then Fox sold its properties to somebody else because Fox doesn't own those characters. So if they sold to another company, it wouldn't matter. It still would go back to Marvel because Marvel is leasing out those characters to Fox, which doesn't allow you to sell to somebody else. Oh,
okay.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, if I let you borrow something, and
like,
let's say I all my Marvel movies. Perfect example. He has all my Marvel movies at his house. If Adam decided to up and sell everything in his house, he's not allowed by law to sell my movies. They're not his.
Yeah, because then it would be theft.
Yes, I'm letting him borrow it. So they would still go back no matter what. But that's all I'm going to say on that. So
do we know, is there any indication that this is going to be sort of like what Sony did with Spider-Man?
No, there's no indication of that because Fox and Marvel and Disney, Marvel/Disney, don't have that type of relationship. They're saying that Fox currently has a couple projects in the work, and they've got a couple movies on the pipeline, but they're saying that 2 secret projects are currently underway. One of them is Silver Surfer, and the other one is a possible Doctor Doom solo film. I don't really want to talk about the solo Doctor Doom because I have no interest in that, but I do want to talk about the Silver Surfer.
I hope if they make that, it's just a 1 hour and 30-minute music video of MF Doom.
That'd be cool. I'm fine with that. So one of the cool things is there's not a lot known about this right now, except that the one person who's writing it is Brian K. Vaughan. Now, I'm not sure if you're familiar with Brian K. Vaughan.
I'm not.
Brian K. Vaughan is one of the co-creators of Why the Last Man and the Runaways comics, which Why the Last Man is probably considered one of the maybe best comic book series in maybe the last 10 years. A lot of people, I've never actually personally read them, but just the word of mouth is like, everybody's like, you should get into that, you should get into it. But it's like, it's the same reason why I don't get too much into One Piece yet.
Because there's a lot of it?
There's a lot to digest. And if I get hooked, it's just, man, that's going to be a shit. I got into The Walking Dead and I spent so much money just catching myself up. And I feel like that's the same exact thing that would happen with
Why the Last Man.
So a lot of people aren't very happy from what I've been reading. I was doing a little bit of research on this. A lot of people are sitting there like, oh, well, look, they did the Fantastic Four movie with the Silver Surfer and they butchered that. Yes, that is completely true.
Who wrote that movie?
I don't know. Who fucking cares? It was trash.
But I'm saying, like, we're comparing that writer to this writer. It's a completely different set of circumstances.
Yes, it is a completely different set of circumstances because whoever wrote that, the whole production thing was like that Fantastic Four, the first one, did not deserve a sequel, first off. And then two, whoever was coming up with the ideas of, hey, let's make Galactus a fucking fart cloud and then let's make like Doctor Doom come back, and the Doctor Doom didn't work in the first one that much, but the only thing they got right was the Silver Surfer. I thought that that was the only part of the movie that they did right. He was super awesome in that movie. They had Doug Jones cast as Silver Surfer, and then they had Lawrence Fishburne as the voice. That is awesome. Like, I love that news. And I just think that it's people are just shitting on it because they think, oh, well, they fucked up the first time with the Silver Surfer and the Fantastic Four, and then they fucked up the Fantastic Four again. But you got to realize that this is the same studio that has been handling the Deadpool franchise, has been handling the X-Men franchise to amazing success, while a lot of people were kind of poo-pooing on Apocalypse. I didn't hate Apocalypse.
No, I didn't either.
No. And I think that Fox did an amazing job with Logan. I think that New Mutants movie looks really good. They seem to can't get shit going with that Gambit movie. That was like our first podcast, and they lost the director and postponed that. But
like 17 fucking times.
Would you be I'm the minority. A lot of people I wouldn't even say know who the Silver Surfer is besides from that movie. What do you think? Would you be interested in a Silver Surfer movie yourself?
Yeah, I mean, he has pretty fucking cool powers.
I mean, he's considered like the most powerful in the Marvel universe. Maybe the only next two would be like Galactus, who's considered a god. Now,
which, didn't Galactus give him his powers?
Yes.
So there you go.
Galactus gave him the power cosmic, and pretty much he just wrecked shit. Now, my thing is, yes, could you do it like Guardians of the Galaxy and that whole space world and make it weird and trippy? Like, I think Silver Surfer could be the perfect combination of Doctor Strange, weird, like Technicolor skit. Yeah. Like, remember when he goes to like Dormammu's universe and like he's getting into that like acid trip shit?
Yeah.
In that movie, I could think if they did that with Silver Surfer, I'd love it. So with that, I'll just tell you.
I got a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
Do you think that they will recompose the Silver Surfer theme from the NES game and put it in the movie?
No. Nothing about... Do you know how badly I played that game whenever I was younger? Because I was like, oh my god, Silver Surfer.
Right, Silver Surfer. And it fucking sucks.
Oh my god, it is.
The music's actually pretty good, though.
I don't even remember it, but that game is so hard. So hard. And my thing with the Silver Surfer, I've had such a deep connection. Like, Batman and Silver Surfer were like, and then later in my life I was like became a huge Daredevil fan. But when I was younger, I'll tell you this.
I guess I'm a little more mainstream.
Maybe. Well, you want to know why I'm a big Silver Surfer fan? Because I used to walk about, you know where Parkway Center Mall is?
Yeah,
around
in
here.
Greentree.
Yeah, it's in Greentree. It's hard to explain if you're not from this area, but I lived on. You remember my old house on that South Linwood when I used to live with my mom? Mm-hmm. Okay, I used to walk from there to Parkway Center Mall when I was 14, all the way to like 17, because I did not have a car. I walked there every Saturday for like 4 years, and would go there.
That's actually quite a trek.
Yes, it took about probably an hour and a half walk back. Well, to and back. It would take about an hour and a half both ways. So it was a trip. I'd go to the comic book store, and
which I don't even think is there anymore.
No, it's actually moved to it's right next to the Taco Bell. Now, Phantom of the Attic, great little Pittsburgh comic book store. So I'd walk up there, and the thing is that I didn't have a lot of money. I had like $50. Like, that's what I would get for doing chores and shit like that. Mm-hmm. And I would just spend it on, I'd be like, what can I get the most of? Well, Batman was too expensive.
Batman's fucking hot.
Yeah, try get an X-Men comic and Spider-Man comic.
In the 90s, fuck that.
Yeah, it just didn't. Well, it wasn't the 90s, but it was like, you know, like 2003 to like 2006, stuff like that, around that time period. But still, Silver Surfer, though, was super cheap. Get like $1 for a comic, and like they offered paperbacks were like 25% off on all of them.
Of cover price?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I would just be like, here's $30.
Give me some Silver Surfer.
Give me some Silver Surfer, man. If I showed you my Silver Surfer stack is probably like this big of just paperbacks. Like, it's pretty much like I have most of the original like 90s run of the Silver Surfer. And I just liked it because it was super weird and these crazy creatures and just the story of the Silver Surfer just being this guy who helped murder millions and billions and trillions of people, and then he
basically just goes around and fucking destroys planets.
Yeah, he sets them up for Galactus to eat and kill everybody, and then he eventually is like, he meets the Fantastic Four, and for some reason he's just like, oh, what I'm doing is wrong. Then he fights Galactus, and then he decides to try to repent, but originally he was for a while he was trapped on Earth until the Fantastic Four let him get out, and then once he got to out of the Earth and he was exploring, just man, the artwork was great, gorgeous artwork, cool stories, loved it. Specifically one where he gets locked on it was like before World War Hulk and the when Hulk becomes a gladiator. Well, the Silver Surfer did that like first, so fuck you, Hulk. So yes, if you can't tell, I really want a Silver Surfer movie to be good, and with Brian K. Vaughan, that's a great writer. So yes,
it's a good possibility.
I just hope that it's marketed and doesn't fall into this rut that is the Gambit movie and actually starts getting made, because they just need to give up on the Fantastic Four and let Marvel deal with that. But if maybe they can get a hit out of Silver Surfer, I'm all for it. So anybody who's shitting on that, they can go fuck themselves, because I want Silver Surfer, man. Give me that Silver Surfer.
I couldn't even tell you.
Give me that Silver Surfer.
What comic book runs I was into then.
Yeah?
I couldn't tell you. Like, all I know is that I was reading Batman.
Silver fucking Surfer. Give me that shit.
I was reading some Batman stuff in the 90s. Some X-Men stuff in the 90s, and Spider-Man. But it was about the symbiote.
I had some, like, as I said, like, I had $50. I just bought like 10 or 12 Silver Surfer comics, and then I'd like, oh, well, I can get maybe one Daredevil comics. Fuck. They were like $8. There was like $8, and when you only have $50, $8 is a lot.
That's a lot, yeah.
So they were so expensive. Spider-Man was mid-range. X-Men was insane. Batman does better in arcs than single stories.
Yeah.
Like, maybe back in the old 60s, like, Batman stories were cool, but a lot of his single trade backs were very expensive or, like, hard to find.
I think I got a hardbound with, like, multiple books all in one book.
Yeah, I mean, you've seen my Batman collection, like, the books. They're insane. But a lot of those are all compressed stories and not really single editions. Maybe there's a few that are like good single stories, but yeah, no, I was such a loser back in. Still am a big loser, but I definitely was walking to comic book stores because I had no car, and my mom was not going to drive me to Parkway Center and sit up there for an hour while I looked around in a goddamn comic book store.
Yeah.
But I would go up with my friend Zach, and I don't really talk to Zach anymore, but Zach was a good friend, and he would always come up, and he would buy, he really liked Superman comics, and I was like, why? Why are you wasting your money on Superman? Superman sucks. He's like, dude, I'm telling you, these stories are great. I'm like, okay. He tried giving me some, just didn't really work for me.
Yeah, Superman.
Some of them were okay. There was some 90s Superman stuff was really cool drawn. Like, it was some cool drawings in there, but yeah, the stories didn't really interest me too much.
Superman doesn't do it for me either.
No, but Silver Surfer does. Make this fucking movie! Make it now!
God damn.
I really want it. I really want that, please. Silver Surfer, please.